Uh, Hello. Yeah, so if Warframe Ethereum just came out. Well, it came out a couple of days ago, and there's a lot of stuff that DE just didn't tell us. So I'm gonna make this video just basically going over a lot of the things that I found from Reddit and various locations, so that you all don't get kind of screwed over by it. And also, it's been a while since my last Warframe guide. Hello, how you doing? We're gonna keep this short. We're gonna keep this sweet. If it's first time watching one of my videos, I basically don't bullshit around. That's all the expositions are gonna be. First off on the list is refining. Refining is I would say hidden feature that the Railjack and Cephalon Psi and all that doesn't really tell you about. So the back of your ship, there is a forge, kind of like in the basement area. It's unmarked until you get right up close to it. It's like a little circle on a wall. Your character will walk up and whip down a bunch of boxes. In there, you're able to forge and craft healing items and ordnance and things like that to repair and keep your ship running during fights. Now this is all hunky-dory because it uses the supplies your ship gathers as it's flying around destroying stuff. Unfortunately, what the game doesn't tell you is that if you leave the mission without going down there and clicking a little button called Refine, all of your resources are gone. All of those resources you gathered are just thrown out the airlock. Now there's been some confusion about like, oh, what do you do if it reaches the cap? Like you get 200 cubic diodes, you don't get any more. Does it go straight to your inventory? Does it just get thrown out the airlock? What happens? The best bet is to, when you go down to the forge and you're going to make some stuff, if you see it at a cap, make some things to replenish your supplies so you can keep going, and then continue with the mission. But if you're at the end of the mission, just hit refine and then maybe fly around and pick up some more things, and then leave, go back to your dojo, and continue with your missions there. If you're going to consistently keep doing missions, probably don't refine, because then it just uses all the materials. If you get into a heavy fight right away, you won't have the stuff to repair. So make a bunch of stuff, and then maybe refine, and just kind of check with the pilot if you want to do that. Second thing is flying around and picking stuff up. At the end of missions, you should really fly around and pick up a bunch of stuff, because the game doesn't tell you, your ship doesn't have ultimate vacuum. If you blow up a fucking ship over there, and then it drops like a really rare mod, you have to go get that. Now, they patched it so you can pick stuff up in your Arcwing now. There was a lot of stuff that couldn't be picked up in Arcwing, but they did patch that. So if you notice a really rare mod or something drop over there from something you killed on a side turret, and the ship's fucking off somewhere else, you can hop out of the airlock and go get that, and then come back and everyone on the squad will get that. Unfortunately, there are some things that everyone in the squad doesn't get. So, blueprint drops from Galleon commanders. So, you know the new weapons that you can get from the Galleon commanders? They aren't given to the squad. And they're not marked that they've been dropped. So, if, for example, I board the ship and someone else is piloting the ship on the outside, I kill the Galleon commander, get that sick-ass new sword, the person piloting the ship's not going to get that, and unless I tell them that it dropped, they'll have no idea it's there. And I'm not sure about marking. The post I saw about this didn't tell about marking. Also, you might notice my head is really fucking shiny. It's because the lighting is not good with the program I'm using to record this. Oops. I have a shiny head. My bad. But yeah, they don't tell at all, unless you tell them the thing is dropped. So, that's annoying, that you'll have to everyone has to go through the ship to get the blueprint instead of it just being shared. That also applies to resources. So if I was to board the Galleon ship and I was to go through and get a fuck-ass load of resources, I get the resources that you pick up in the ship and the resources on the ship itself inside the Galleon, like your Railjack resources and the Galleon resources, but you and the Railjack don't get any of the resources inside the Galleon. It doesn't share it that way, which is dumb, because there's a decent amount of resources on those Galleons from what I've heard. So that's kind of annoying. As well as stuff being individual, the RNG on the gear you pick up, so you can pick up guns and drops and things like that from other ships. So say I get a Mark II machine gun or something from my ship, and then you also get that same Mark II in the same mission. Well, my one can have like 20% extra damage, your one can have like 50% extra damage. So there's RNG on top of RNG. So let's just say you have a crew of friends, and you got one dude who's decking out his ship, and you're using his ship to fly around and kill everything. But then Jim Bob down the road gets a bunch of weapons, and they're all better than your main dude's weapons. 90% sure you can't just trade those or equip them. I don't know about that yet. If there's trading of them, that kind of helps out in individual cases with your friends and your dojo, because then you'd be like, oh, well, you're the one with the main ship. Here, have this weapon. It's better. And it's like, oh, okay, sweet. But if you can't do that, and if you can't, mix and match and swap stuff, then becomes an issue. Because then it's like, oh, well, I guess we have to use his ship, but his ship doesn't have the better defenses, so we're going to die easier, and it's fucked. It's just more RNG on top of stuff. So, that's ridiculous. But speaking of those weapons, the costs for them are ridiculous, as you might have seen. You get a weapon, it's like 2,000 diodes, 3,000 diodes to make this weapon. It's like, what the hell? There was a rumor going around that you get 100% of the resources back if you build and scrap it. That is a lie. I've seen screenshots and seen people talking about this. You get 50% of the mats back. So if you're just building a bunch of stuff being like, oh, I'm gonna be fine, because I'm gonna get all the resources back when I get something better, you're only gonna get 50% of the resources back. So be careful about that. Another thing the game doesn't really tell you about resources is that in the engineering tree and some of the other trees, it gives you more for that. So if you're really hard about resources, go into the engineering trees and things like that. It'd be very helpful. At least get 1 point to everything first for your XP, like for all those different trees, because they all give really good stuff at the first level, and then go into engineering for resources if you really want that stuff. What else have I got on this list? 50% back from scrapping. Oh, 30 wreckage slots. So when I was talking about the weapons you can pick up and the shields or whatever that kind of stuff is, you only have 30 slots for that stuff. So imagine you're getting prime Warframe blueprints from relics, right? Imagine you're getting relic drops. Imagine if you couldn't have 30 of those relic drops. Imagine if you were limited to 30 blueprints for Frost Prime or whatever it is. That's basically what's happening with these wreckage slots. So you go out and you get a bunch of weapons. So you say you're at 29 weapons, and you have 10, tier 3s, 9, tier 2s, and then 10 more. That's 29? Yeah. Whatever. Then like 10 more, tier 1s. If you were to get 2 weapons in that mission, so you go to 30 and then 31, the 31, deleted. Just gone. Just automatically deleted from your inventory. You have no say in the matter. So before you go on that mission, make sure you delete like the tier 1s you don't want. Delete the stuff you don't want as your weapons, and like scrap them and things like that. Because what if you pick up a tier 3 and it's your 31st one, and that's the first tier 3 you've ever gotten? Too bad. It's at the airlock. Goodbye. Gone. So that's something the game doesn't really tell you, which is fucking annoying. Coming back to things on the tutorial that would be nice if the game told you, the different status effects that fires and wires and hull breaches can do. So you might have heard when you're on a ship, there's a fire, there's electricity, there's a hull breach. What does that do to your ship, other than just doing damage? Well, fire causes ship health damage over time, and the ship can't regenerate health. So you won't heal if there's a fire. Open wires, with the electricity, the shields will not regenerate, which makes sense. It's like electricity, shields don't regenerate. That's pretty bog standard, for things in this game. And then a hull breach reduces the max health of the ship. One thing I forgot to say, when it comes to repairing the ship, you have a device in your gear wheel called the Omni. With this device, you click it and you spray the walls and stuff with the materials you might get from the crafting, things like that. Also, ignore the fact that my camera's fucked up. I didn't adjust it when I relaunched OBS. Welcome to my house. Ha. So kind of in order of priority, I would say get rid of the fires, because then your ship will be able to regenerate some health. Then get rid of the hull breaches, because then your ship gets more health, because health is always better than shields in Warframe, except for Hildren. She's the exception of the rule. And then open wires. I would say if you can pick and choose what you have, if you have multiple breaches and multiple fires, get rid of the fires first, so you can regen and stuff like that. What else do I have written here? Oh, avionics. So the avionics thing, if you're upgrading your ship and you have avionics like extra hull, extra damage, that kind of stuff, That isn't locked. So if you want to go sell some avionics, you want to get rid of some avionics, which I'll be honest, I haven't even figured out how to do that yet. I just sort of read a post about this and throw it on the list. When you sell avionics, you get rid of avionics. They're not locked. So imagine you had a vitality that was fully max ranked in a Warframe. If you went to go sell your mods, it would show you that that's being used on a Warframe. It would be locked. It wouldn't let you get rid of it, kind of thing. And so the avionics are not bound by this. So we had someone on Reddit sell all of their avionics, being like, oh, I'm not using any of these. Went onto their ship, all their avionics was gone. All the ones they had installed were sold. Just all the ones they had upgraded, just gone. And they didn't realize that their ones were showing up and there was no notification being like, it's being used on your railjack. So be careful about that if you're trying to sell some avionics. And I think the last thing I have on my list of stuff that DE doesn't tell you about the new railjack systems is using the arsenal during loading. So the arsenal on your ship, where you can change up your gear, change up your arc wings, things like that, you might have noticed you can't use when you're in combat, when you're in a mission. But you can use it in the dojo, as you've probably already known, and during the loading screens. When you're going through those tunnels, with like the fucking voidy bullshit, when you're going through that, you can use it. But people have said that there are chances for bugs and chances for things there, so you practically shouldn't use it, but you can. Basically, at the end of the day, DE needs to add a tutorial mission. Because you have the free flight mission, which teaches you how to fly your ship and stuff, but you can't get resources, so you can't test the forge. You can't really do anything in that mission. You don't get to fight like some fighters every now and then. Like, say, like 2 fighters spawn every like 10 minutes or whatever, so you can get a feel for the combat and get a feel for repairing and things. There's no tutorial mission. The first mission you play, if you want to go into it solo and try and learn the game and try and learn all the systems, you'll get turbo fucked. I know I did. I only managed to beat it solo after like my 3rd or 4th try. And then once I upgraded some of my subsystems, like, piloting and things like that. And then you're just thrown into the thick of it. It's like, go join some randoms in a squad, have your own squad, or ram your head into it solo to learn the game. That's really the only thing you can do. And it's kind of annoying. There needs to be a mission in between Free Flight and the first mission, where it's like a story mission that Cephalon Psi gives you. And it's like, hey, we need to teach you how to fuck to fly this thing, because this is something you've never seen before. So, here's a mission, here's a lot of objectives, learn to repair the ship, learn to pilot the guns, learn to pilot the ship, like, do all that stuff. I'm Cephalon Psi, we're ready to fight things now, into the first mission. I don't understand why they didn't do that. It boggles my mind. But, if there's anything else I've missed, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. And if there's anything that you think I should update the video on, if they patch some stuff, if they update some stuff, feel free to let me know and I'll be more than happy to make an updated video. My apologies for not having any gameplay behind me, showcasing some of the stuff I'm talking about. A lot of the things on the list I haven't actually got to yet. Like, I don't have 30 wreckage slots to show what happens when one gets deleted. I don't have a friend, as sad as that sounds, that has the different RNG drops on the same weapon kind of thing. So I can't really showcase that, and I can't really pick and choose when fires or hull breaches will show up to show you what the difference is and that kind of thing. So, my apologies if there's no gameplay, but hopefully this explained everything you need to know, and helps you out with your future endeavors in Railjack. I'm also avoided saying Empyrean, the title of the update, because I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong. Have a good day, guys.